Especially thank you, Laura, for inviting me to be part of this amazing lineup of speakers. So let's get started. This is a beautiful black slide. I'm going to tell you a story of change. I really like the topic of this event, like agents of change, and the idea of like a change starts from within, right? So I'm going to tell you the story that starts with a call. I was living in Brazil. We just launched a project, and a couple of months later, we received a call that changed my, I would say, life, the way, or my career, or the way I envision our job and creativity. The call was from this guy. Adriano was blind when we met him, and he called us to thank us for changing his life, because thanks to our project, he could see again. Thanks to our project, he had received the cornea transplant that he needed, and after like more than 10 years, he could see again. But he told us as well that all the patients that we feature on this campaign, they had received the organ transplant that they had been waiting for years. I'm going to put you just one video. I want to see the project just to give you more context why this project impacted me so much.
Amaro, não tem comparação torcida, não tem. O resto é resto, o esporte é tudo. Primeiro Deus, segundo o esporte, terceiro a família e quarto é o trabalho.
Que os seus olhos vão continuar assistindo o esporte.
Que os seus pulmões continuarão respirando pelo esporte.
Prometo que o seu coração sempre baterá pelo esporte.
Hoje a maior dificuldade que existe no processo de doação é o sim da família.
Sou rubro-negra até depois de morrer, irmão. Tem a alma é rubro-negra.
Ainda mais que quando eu doar meus órgãos, pô, meu pulmão for pro cara do Náutico, torcedor do Náutico, ele vai respirar o esporte.
A campanha atingiu números impressionantes. 51 mil torcedores se declararam doadores, uma quantidade superior à capacidade da Ilha do Retiro.
A campanha do esporte, eu não tenho dúvida alguma que serviu para que, aumentando a oferta de doadores, a gente conseguisse zerar essa lista, conseguisse realizar o transplante em todos que estavam precisando.
Uma campanha de doação de órgãos lançada pelo esporte está ajudando a salvar a vida de muitos torcedores.
Antes do vídeo, eu tinha passado 18 anos de diabético e 5 anos fazendo hemodiálise. E a vida só está melhorando, minha visão está voltando aos pouquinhos. Eu renasci de novo.
Para mim, disse, olha, a gente tem um provável coração para sua mãe. Você pode trazer ela? Disse, com certeza. Fiquei aliviado de saber que eu ainda iria poder ter ela.
Vamos aí, torcida do esporte, vamos doar. Vamos tomar essa corrente, né? Não vamos mais parar.
Thank you. So this project had a massive impact in the way I see advertising creativity. It showed me that our ideas can literally help a blind guy to see again. Our ideas can save lives. So, oops. It was like a Matrix moment, right? It's like a red pill, blue pill. It's like suddenly I see everything from a totally different perspective. Excuse me. This project gave me so many beautiful things. I learned a lot of things. But the most important thing that gave me was a conviction. The conviction that creativity is humanity's superpower. And that conviction gave me some sense of purpose that I wanted to use my creativity as much as I can to provoke positive impact, not just in the business of my clients, but also in people's lives and the planet. So from that moment, I just started encouraging my teams and my clients to think like an activist, right? It was kind of like a cool line, right? My idea was to inspire them to strip away from like the usual like advertising and marketing mindset and approach and try to see things from a different perspective and try to provoke positive change as we did with these projects. But being very honest, at the beginning was, it's a cool line, right? It's very inspiring, think like an activist. But then I started thinking and digging into it and reading about activism and trying to figure out what exactly think like an activist means. And reading, I found this quote from John Lewis, a congressman and civil rights activist. Never, ever be afraid to make some noise and get in good trouble, necessary trouble. I really love the bit of like a good trouble, get into good trouble. He got into good trouble marching in Selma for like a fighting for the right for black people to vote, even though he was aware that on the other side, the police were waiting for them, and it was very likely that they were going to beat them and arrest them. But don't get me wrong, I don't want you guys to get arrested or beat up. Some decades later, this little kid got in good trouble by skipping school on Fridays in Sweden just to encourage adults to take action for climate. And this simple gesture sparked a global movement with millions of kids across the world joining her. But good trouble is you can apply the same kind of notion to creativity, design, art, pop culture. Good trouble is, for instance, creating a new language and doing something totally new that you have no idea if people are going to understand or like or buy, like Picasso when he created Cubism, right? That is getting into good trouble. Good trouble is about speaking up about things that society can want to keep hidden and use your comedy for it, right? Like Ellen DeGeneres, the way she came out when no celebrities, no one was talking about like publicly that they were gay. This is the way she did it. Oops. No. We don't have the video. Well, anyway, she used her sitcom in a very, very funny way to say the word, I'm gay. Oh, can you play it? Oh,
this is so hard, but I think I've realized that I can't even say the word. Why can't I say the word? I mean, why can't I just say?
It's okay, so yeah, check it on YouTube. It's very, very funny. Good trouble is being a black woman and, like I'm not asking permission to record a country album and break all the stereotypes and shake up the music industry that says that apparently country music is only for for white people. Or also, good travel is about breaking tradition. I love the story of Massimo Bottura, how he broke like all the traditions of the Italian cuisine, and I really like what he says. It's not easy to break tradition. They want to burn me in the main piazza as a witch. Or as Ai Weiwei says, art or creativity or design or any kind of art expressions is about everything out of the system. It is a death sentence for art when it is within the system. So I really love the idea of good travel. Actually, I think our job is to get into good travel. If you don't want to get into good travel, go find another job. So now it's after thinking about, okay, I really love this sentiment of getting good travel. Is how can I get into good travel? How can I keep seeing how activists use the way they act to provoke change, and how can I get some insights to write some principles that can help my creative process to get good travel and provoke positive change. And the first thing is ask yourself, what change do you want to provoke? It's a very simple question, but if you don't know what you want to change, how you are going to change it, right? So, is it a behavior change? Is it a societal change? Is it a political change? What's the most interesting thing your brand can say to provoke that change, right? And it all starts with the brief. We were talking, Kate was talking about briefs. For me, is the most important piece of our process. Most of our briefs in my career were not very good, not very inspiring. I always encourage our clients to have a one-line brief. Something very, very simple, right? It's like a process to work with them and find a very simple expression is what the change we want to provoke. Why one line? Because if the brief is too complicated, right? If it has so many elements, you are going to have not too many possibilities to express creatively that brief. Whereas if you have a very, very simple brief, you are going to have unlimited possibilities to do that. I'm going to give you an example of one of the best briefs we ever had at Ogilvy Brazil was this, DAB. And by the way, this is like a data-driven brief, They found out, they conducted this research, and they found out that only 4% of women consider themselves beautiful. So that's the issue. And the goal and the ambition or the change they want to provoke is help the other 96% feel the same way. So again, problem and ambition, one line. So that is good because you can open a brief for it. We opened this brief for all the agency, São Paulo, Rio, and you don't need to have experience to working on the brand, the category, because it's so simple that anyone can come up with a great idea. Actually, the team who came up with this idea were very young, and they were not working for the brand. And this brief took to this idea, the Real Beauty sketches, that back in the day became the most watched ad ever on YouTube. I think it was 180 million people, and really, really, really provoke a change in the way that women see their beauty, right? I'm not going to play if you want to check it on YouTube. The next principle is about the truth. Find your truth. We are living in an era of a fake news, narratives, lobbyists using all their power to create their own reality. Activists, their job sometimes is to show the truth, to connect emotionally their fight with other people, right? And in advertising and in communication, truth is the same. It's our most powerful weapon to do the same, to connect our brands emotionally with our audiences. It could be a human truth, it could be a brand or product truth, or it could be a cultural truth. But I always try to find, the more universal, the bigger the truth is, the better. It's if you find something that people really, really feel, that's the best way to connect with them. I'm going to give you an example of what a universal truth can, or a human truth can do. In Brazil as well, the same club, Sport Club do Recife, gave us a brief. It was a season that, you know, like fans in the stadiums, football fans, were literally killing each other. You know, there was a lot of violence, deaths, incidents during the games. And they told us, hey, what can we do? How can we use the passion of football to try to stop the violence? But what the hell we say these guys? Yeah, how are we going to convince these people to stop the fight, to stop the violence? I had no idea. But one team came with a massive universal truth. They said, there is one person that no one would fight in front of. Any guess who that person is? Exactly, your mom. So what do? We created these security moms. We turn we turned the moms of the most violent hooligans into the stewards of the stadium, and during the most violent, like a derby game, they were there. Incidents that game, 0. Again, you can check the case study on YouTube. It's great. It's really good. Next one, and this is a very important principle for me. It's to change something, don't change anything, right? I have bad news for you. People are not out there waiting for us to send our message. Okay, let's stop everything we are doing and we are going to do what you want us to do. No, right? If I tell you, hey guys, let's go tomorrow to Cambodia because, you know, the kids there, they don't have schools, and it would be great. All of us go there and we're going to build the schools. Probably most of you would say, yeah, I would love to, but I have my job, I have my life here, I can't leave anything, right? But if you tap into something that people are doing already or feeling, that's something that you will be able to convince them because it's effortless, right? You are like a repurposing something. The best case is, or example is immortal fans. If I ask like a young people to say, hey, would you donate your organs? Could you become an organ donor? Probably most of them would tell you, oh man, I'm very young, I don't know, I don't want to think about death, and you know. But if you tell them, hey, your heart is going to keep beating for your teenager after you pass away and you are going to become an immortal fan, you say, fuck yeah, let's do it, right? So that's it. Use something, we use their passion. Change something without changing anything. Pick a side. That's another thing that activists do, right? Is they find an enemy. You need to have an opinion. And I always say, if everybody likes you, we are doing something wrong, right? Because if nobody hates you, no one loves you, truly loves you, right? Back in the day, I love this story of Michael Jordan, that apparently he was asked to support a senator. Well, there was a senator, I don't remember what state, and he was like forever on power, and he was a racist. And the Democrat candidate was running against that person, and they asked Michael, and he was on the top of his career, he said, would you support the Democrats? And he said something like, hey, Republicans buy sneakers too, right? That's unthinkable these days, right? These days you really need, brands really need to pick a side. It's very interesting that the same brand that supported like a Michael Jordan, they did this, the most polarizing athlete ever, and they feature in the campaign, right? Because when you have a point of view, when you have a conviction, Nike is about giving a voice or helping the athletes to raise their voices, etc. So this athlete was like nobody wanted to work with them. But if your conviction is that, you have to pick a side. Some years ago, we picked a side. This was like a month before Earth Day, and media and everybody was very excited about all the missions to Mars. We're landing like the US, China, the Arabs, etc. So everybody was very excited about that, right? And I was thinking, hey, what the hell, Mars? We are killing our planet. What about planet Earth, what about prioritizing our planet to save our planet instead of like investing a lot of money, time, and people trying to get us to another planet? So we pick a side. We picked the side of planet Earth, and we did this. We bought this digital billboard. This is for real. In front of the SpaceX, and we gave a voice to planet Earth. We said this: Mars sucks, signed by Earth, right? 3 words, 1 billboard, 24 hours, spark an amazing conversation about prioritizing our planet, picking a side. Then we started like playing, we wanted to do something more like not just the billboard. And then we started like using real facts. The closest beach to Mars is 160 million miles away, Earth. And by the way, we were using the photos for the first time we had from Mars, the NASA photos. Or Martian landscapes will take your breath away, literally, Earth. Or it's a barren wasteland named after a god of war. Sure, go there, Earth. Hashtag no filter, just like the atmosphere of Mars. Or we know it's fiction, but Matt Damon ate his own poo just so he could leave Mars, Earth, right? So yeah, we pick a side. Our enemy is not about like not going to Mars, it's about prioritizing our planet, okay? And that takes me to the next principle about, I forgot, I really like this photo Beto, my partner, took me. We were like searching for the digital billboard, and this guy works on SpaceX. Hope he doesn't see this presentation, by the way. And SpaceX, a lot of people use this T-shirt and jersey with the message, Occupy Mars, so I really like it. Anyway, this takes me to the next principle. Don't tell a story, be the story. The first step to provoke change is to spark a conversation. So everything we do is to spark conversations, right? Is to try to people talk about it, right? In this case, again, is, as I said, 3 words, 1 billboard, 24 hours, and we spark a global conversation about prioritizing planet Earth. And I'm very proud because some publications, Yoko Ono, who is one of my idols, did something in London, another billboard, and some publications mention Activista and mention Yoko Ono at the same time, which make me very, very proud. And last but not least, and I love this quote from RBG, Ruth, I always forget her name. It's perfect, yeah, thank you. So she's an activist, like a women's rights activist, a justice of the Supreme Court. She passed away some years ago. And she said something that I quite like: fight for the things you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. In other words, and that's translated to like more like a marketing language, is inspire action, right? As important as we spend a lot of time trying to figure out our ideas, but sometimes we spend more time trying to figure out what do we want people to do, right? Do we want people to buy a product? Do we want people to sign a petition, et cetera, et cetera? And I like the idea of like we need something always to provoke people to be part of the campaign, right? We did this project, and this is the last thing I'm going to show you, for Surf Rider Foundation, a grassroots organization that fights to protect the oceans. And we found out that we are not Americans, and we observed that American people are very patriotic. But patriotism is all about the land, right? It's the land of the free, this land is your land, etc. So we thought, hey, what about the oceans? What if we bring the concept of the oceans to the patriotism? So that's why we redesigned the flag and bring the oceans, and we call it United States and Oceans of America. And it's great because we did for real the flags, and it was great for the organization because that merchandising helped them to fund themselves, right? So the flags became a symbol of the fight for the oceans. And it was crazy. It sold out in 84 hours, and it was amazing. Like a lot of people, celebrities, surfers, and they wanted to go beyond their community of surfers. They want like people to be proud of like fighting for the oceans. But more importantly, other brands came to us asking, hey, we want to use your flag to create products. So we have Billabong, we have Almond, Igloo, and others. So basically, people became our media. But not just that. People paid to become our media because every time they bought a product, they help fund the foundation. So these are the principles. What change do you want to provoke? Find your truth. To change something, don't change anything. Pick a side. Don't tell a story, be the story, and inspire action. And this is the story of change I wanted to share with you. A story that started with this call from this guy that changed the way I see my career. That change helped me to change my process, the way I work. And when I change my process, my work provoked more impact, more change. So I'm going to end up with this quote that says, yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I'm wise, so I am changing myself. So for my ask for you is, don't ask for change, be the change. Thank you.